Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 57 of Midweek News for December 27th, 2023. My name is Jeremy, and this is the Practical IT channel. Let's get started. Handbrake 1.7.2 has been released. This is a modest release, improving automatic selection of Dolby Vision level and overall software performance on Linux. This release also fixes a file chooser issue with the Flatpak version, a fix for various AMD and NVIDIA encoders that could cause an excessive number of keyframes. For macOS, this release adds a workaround for a crash that occurred while using Video Toolbox encoders with macOS 14 Sonoma on Apple Silicon Ultra machines. For Windows users, it adds automation properties to various controls on the Audio tab for screen reader users. You can find out more details on the project's GitHub page. A step-by-step guide to setting up web-based SSH. This article from Linuxiac guides through setting up web-based SSH with Docker. Links are provided for easy setup of Docker on a variety of Linux distributions. The overall stack includes, in addition to Docker, Caddy for reverse proxy, WeTTY, terminal over HTTP and HTTPS, and OpenSSH server. Maybe this will be a project some of you will attempt during the holidays. How to install Nextcloud AIO on Ubuntu 22.04. This is another great tutorial from How To Forge. The AIO install uses Docker at its base. Please be sure to pay close attention to the memory and CPU requirements depending on how many optional components you choose to install. Build your own NAS with this Alder Lake-N motherboard. The motherboard is capable of 6 hard drives and 2 SSDs, and will support up to 32 gigs of RAM and 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. The board is available on AliExpress starting at $189. Install Pure-FTPd on Ubuntu 22.04. Here we go with another How To Forge article. While they're using Ubuntu this time around, it shouldn't be too difficult to make this work on other Debian-based systems. I do wish they would give more time to the monitoring and maintenance section of the guide, or at least link to other guides that do spend more time on this topic. Darktable 4.6 raw image editor released. Some highlights include autosave editing history every 10 seconds, support for a list of new cameras from Canon, Fujifilm, Leica, and others. A new white balance preset is also available for the Leica M, Olympus EP7 and TG6, and the Sony ILCE7C M2 cameras. Improved speed when exporting JPEG 2000 and black and white TIFF images. Available now from the official website and through your favorite package manager real soon. Fully cross-platform for Linux, macOS, and Windows. Zorin OS 17 has been released, based on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. It's able to run in RAM as low as 1.5 gigabytes. Customized desktop interface options make it look like macOS or Windows. Please note, some of these options are only available in the Pro version. They have brought back a modern take on the Cube window desktop switcher paradigm available on Linux years ago. They call this the Spatial Window Switcher. They have included GNOME Software Store 45.2, and other new features can be read about on the Zorin blog. Google Chrome now scans for compromised passwords in the background. This is for passwords saved in the browser, which many techs, including myself, recommend against. Chrome can also alert users if they are using an extension flagged as dangerous. Google is also working to broaden the safety check functionality to automatically revoke permissions to access users' location or microphone for infrequently visited websites. Of course, there will be new features coming in 2024 and enhancements to existing features. 50 simple and useful dmidecode commands for Linux. For those not in the know, dmidecode allows users to retrieve sensitive hardware-related information directly from the command line. Some useful information includes serial numbers, processor cache values, system manufacturer, and more. If you use Linux on some rather obscure hardware, have purchased a pre-built system, or are adding a generic-looking expansion card, this utility might just come in handy for you. And now we'll introduce a new segment of this show, and we are going to cover some latest versions of popular open source software. LibreOffice is at version 7.6.4. Version 24.2 is currently in beta testing and will release in February 2024. OBS Studio is at version 30.0.2. RescueZilla is still on the 2.4.2 version for the general release. There is a rolling release that was released in late November, which may be better suited to newer hardware. The 2.5 release is still coming at some point and will be based on this rolling release. Fog Project is still on the 1.5.10 version, which came out in March of 2023. Depending on your needs, you may want to check out the development version on GitHub, which should be a little more up to date, although development in general on the Fog project has been pretty slow for the past few years. And Clonezilla stable is at version 3.1.1-27. There is a testing version of 3.1.2-6, as well as alternative stable and testing versions if you'd like to experiment a little. That will bring us to the end of Midweek News, episode 57, and the final one for 2023. If you have not done so already, please smash the like button, and until next time, happy computing.